Hey everybody, welcome back to Fed News, the October to November edition. Let's get started. So, breaking news: Darren Young was injured in a car accident. His return date is unknown at this time. We're told that he's in stable condition. Of course, read down here at the bottom print. Um, it's kayfabe. Don't actually think he's injured, but unfortunately, the ultimate figure I was using was that new style torso. I've taken it apart since and figured it out. The connector pieces aren't as sturdy as the older pieces are. So while he will return in the very near future with a different look altogether, but right now he is injured. So in the Fig Fed, it is undetermined when he will be back. But our thoughts and prayers are with him in the Figure Fed world. Wrestling news, however, though, S.A. Rios is in talk with UWA Developmental. Too Cold Scorpio is also in talks with UWA Developmental, and Hugh Morris has signed with the UWA Developmental deal. So week one kicks off with Owen Hart and Chris Candido defeating Simon Dean and Simon Diamond by pinfall and velocity. Reggie would defeat Roddy Piper by pinfall. In the main event, we see Macho Man Randy Savage defeat Batista by pinfall. Over to the main show now is the number one contender match announced for tonight's main event. Will be a six-pack challenge, but it's going to be Braun Breaker kicking off to defeat Doink the Clown by pinfall. The Fiend defeats Larry Zbyszko by submission. The Usos defeat the Nasty Boys by pinfall. And Gemini defeats Original Midnight Express by pinfall. The main event would see Chris Jericho defeat Marty Jannetty, Nathan Jones, Brian Pillman, John Morrison, and Cody Rhodes by pinfall to become the number one contender again to try to regain the title he just lost at the last pay-per-view. Over to week two now, as Velocity kicks off with Justin Gabriel defeating Cesaro. Don Morocco scoring a win to finally, who was winless in this contest. He's actually now defeated Sylvan to advance in the tournament to crown the UWA Television Champion. The main event would see Batista defeat Shinsuke Nakamura by pinfall to become the new UWA International Champion. Superstars, though, as The Fiend defeats Jerry Lynn by submission. Braun Breaker and Darren Young ends in a double countout. X-Pac and Heath Slater versus Rock and Roll Express by time limit draw. William Regal defeats Bob Backlund by submission. In the main event, we see Nathan Jones defeat Marty Jannetty by pinfall to earn the number one contendership shot for the Intercontinental title. Over to week three now is Justin Gabriel and Norman Smiley ends in a time limit draw. Justin Gabriel will go on to defeat Don Morocco by pinfall. In the main event, we see Macho Man Randy Savage defeat Reggie by pinfall. Over to Superstars, the Original Midnight Express, defeats Nasty Boys by pinfall. Larry Zbyszko defeats Brian Pillman by pinfall. William Regal defeats Bob Backlund by pinfall. And X-Pac and Heath Slater defeat Rock and Roll Express by pinfall. The main event would see Braun Breaker, Nathan Jones, and The Fiend defeat LOD, John Morrison by pinfall. Week 4 kicks off with Giant Gonzalez defeating Titus O'Neil by pinfall. The Good Brothers defeat Simon Dean and Simon Diamond by pinfall. And the main event would see Owen Hart defeat Cesaro by submission. Over to Superstars, though, as The Fiend defeats Heath Slater by submission. A-Train defeats Doink the Clown by pinfall. Braun Breaker would defeat Marty Jannetty by pinfall. And Gemini defeats the Usos to become the number one contenders for the tag titles at the next pay-per-view, No Mercy. And the main event would see X-Pac defeat Jerry Lynn by pinfall to also become the number one contender for the light heavyweight title to take place at No Mercy. Pay-per-view kicks off with the match card looking like this. X-Pac versus Brian Pillman for the light heavyweight title. The Fiend and Braun Breaker versus the Nasty Boys. Nathan Jones will take on John Morrison for his Intercontinental title. Gemini versus the LOD for their tag titles. William Regal will actually face Cody Rhodes for the U.S. title. And A-Train battles Heath Slater in a singles match. Main event would see Chris Jericho trying to regain the title he lost from Yokozuna. Could he do it? Let's find out. So No Mercy's Velocity kicks off with Sylvan defeating Shinsuke Nakamura. Don Morocco defeats Owen Hart by pinfall. The Macho Man Randy Savage defeats Justin Gabriel to win the UWA Television title. In the main event, Roddy Piper defeats Batista to become the new UWA International Champion. Over to No Mercy now, though, as Brian Pillman retains over X-Pac for the light heavyweight title. A-Train would defeat Heath Slater pretty quickly. Gemini defeats LOD to become the tag team champions. William Regal defeats Cody Rhodes to become the U.S. champion. Braun Breaker and The Fiend defeats the Nasty Boys by pinfall. And John Morrison defeats Nathan Jones to retain his Intercontinental title. In the main event, Yokozuna would still retain his title over Chris Jericho by pinfall. Here are the new champions as of now. William Regal's the U.S. champion now. Macho Man becoming the TV champion. Gemini becoming the tag champions. Roddy Piper becoming the international champion. The retention, Brian Pillman retaining his lightweight title. John Morrison retains the Intercontinental title. And Yokozuna retaining his world title. That's all for this week. Tune in next week to find out the aftermath, to see who the new number one contender will be, as well as future developments.